Disclaimer: if you are new to Battlefield's movement, I would recommend you to watch the videos that I have linked in the description below, and to come back after you see them. This tutorial is targeted for movement players who are looking to learn new movement techs. I will first show you the needed keybinds, then we will get into the tutorial itself. Setting your crouch/prone key to a key you're comfortable with is what you will need to Vouzou. People commonly refer to this as the Vouzou bind. And a majority of these movements use quick switch tech. To do this, you will need to bind your knife and your switch inventory down to the same key. We will start simple. The first tech is nicknamed Luigi. To do this, a player must run towards a crouched player. The person crouched can either spam or wait till the jumper gets close enough before they stand. Air strafing is possible once you take air. All you need to do is hold Shift and W while looking in the direction you want to go. This makes it very difficult for other players to land their shots. This is possible because when you crouch and uncrouch, you create two vaultable positions for the other player to jump on. This close timing merges the two jumps together, giving you a double jump. The next movement on the list is named Souzou. To do the Souzou, your angle is the most important step. Unlike other movements where you throw a pack in front of you at an angle, you're going to throw the pack straight down. To do this, throw the med pack and start walking forward. As soon as you see the med pack leave your hand, jump and at the same time press and hold your Vouzou bind. After you press your Vouzou bind, you must let go of all your movement keys. It is also worth mentioning, to prevent yourself from staying prone, once you notice the boost, you can press your crouch button to stop the prone, letting you jump either out of a Souzou or once it ends. Since the med pack is a solid object, throwing it down and moving forward puts it behind you. It allows your legs to clip into the med pack and push you away from it. On the topic of med packs, the next movement is an extended Mouzou. This is done after hitting a successful Mouzou and pressing your Vouzou key shortly after. This grants you an extra movement boost while maintaining the teleport animation. Quick swap can be used with this, but is not necessary. The server hertz greatly impacts the distance and speed of the extended Mouzou. However, it is not limited to only high hertz. It is possible to do on 60 Hz servers. The only downside is that the distance you achieve might not always be the exact same. Some may fall short, while others go much further. Ladder launching is up next. It's by far the simplest, yet one of the most fun movements to mess around with. The only requirement is for the ladder to be submerged in the water. This is done by tapping S right when you interact with the ladder. You can look at the bottom left keystrokes to better help you. There are two ways of getting launched. One is by swimming directly towards the ladder. This method works relatively well, but not always giving you good height. The most consistent method is swimming into the corner of the ladder. Flicking opposite of the ladder and tapping S will grant you a better launch. Strafing midair is also possible, simply by holding Shift W and looking where you want to go. It's nice to mention, ladder launching is one of the few techs that isn't impacted by server hertz. It can also be used to get to some cheeky spots, surprising your enemies. The final movement that I would consider easy is a Mario. To do this, set up a big med pack up on the edge of a vaultable object like this. This works with certain railings, boxes, and/or ledges. This tech isn't too practical since setup is required, but still won't hurt to keep in mind. This is a super easy movement to pull off. Simply sprint up to the medkit, either spam or hold space, and continue to hold sprint in the air for air control. And just like the ladder launch, the hertz of a server does not affect the jump whatsoever, so you are able to make this jump on any server you want. The next few movements steps things up in difficulty. This is mainly because the timings needed are a lot less forgiving and need to be more precise. The No Swap Vouzou, or otherwise known as No Swap, has a very difficult timing to learn. You have to make both of your inputs within 100 milliseconds of each other. Learning this timing will be a challenge. Be patient with yourself and practice. As you run up against the railing like a normal Vouzou, instead of swapping you must let go of your W key, then press space within the time frame. Doing this variation of Vouzou is much better than the normal one. This is because you are able to reload and shoot while in the animation, as well as allowing you to move in many more directions, making it less predictable to higher skilled players. The Advanced Mouzou, or otherwise known as a Quickthrow Mouzou, is a simple yet solid improvement on the base Mouzou. It's as simple as quick throwing your med pack and hitting a Mouzou. Throwing the pack allows you to waste less time being slowed by the throwing animation and allows you to keep all of your prior momentum. Whenever you tap F with the Quick Swap bind, it will cycle down and use the utility that's next. So if your medkit is on 3, you will tap F while on your secondary, throwing the pack at an angle. Then hit space to get the Mouzou. It's also super important to know that you cannot do any sort of quick switch when you are sprinting. You must let go of sprint for at least half to a quarter of a second. You can counteract this, however, by jumping and letting go of all your movement keys in the air. Then once you hit the ground and slide, you are able to throw the pack. If you press yourself up against a wall, follow the same steps and hit the Mouzou, flicking your mouse away from the wall. It allows your legs to clip inside. This pushes and glitches you away with more speed, giving your opponents less time to react. The Advanced Souzou is a more difficult, yet more effective Souzou. By utilizing Quick Switch, throwing your medpack faster can increase the distance you gain from your Souzou, allowing you to enter or exit a fight much faster. To do this, you must use your designated Quick Switch key. Then instantly after, Rouzou and press your jump key. Doing this will allow your Souzous to work much more effectively on any 60 Hz server. Since you are unable to sprint and throw the medpack to use Souzou on the go, you must jump, then in the air let go of all your movement keys. Wait till you hit the ground, then look down, tap F, and jump while pressing your Rouzou key at the same time. This variant of Souzou allows you to execute the Rouzou much faster than having to wait out the default animation, wasting less time being slowed and focusing more on being aggressive. The Akzou, found by Akzou, uses a normal medkit throw, vaulting over a railing, and a Rouzou. You can splice this tech into two parts, the initial medkit and vault, and then the Rouzou. To make this easier for yourself, I would recommend first getting in the habit of vaulting with a medkit and having the medkit land on the same side as you are vaulting. Get comfortable with this. Then you can begin to time your Rouzou with the throw, which will allow you to shoot away from the railing with lots of speed. Since the Akzou is a variant of Souzou, that means this tech is still affected by server hertz. However, the distance you will get from majority of your Akzous will depend on the height of the railing. This tech is nicknamed Superman. It consists of mixing a ladder launch with a Souzou, allowing you to gain massive vertical and horizontal distance. Once you learn the timing of the ladder launch and the Souzou, the only part you need to get comfortable with is the timing of when to use the Souzou. You are only able to hit a successful Superman when you are going up. If you are at a point where you are falling, you will not be able to Rouzou from the medkit. You may also use this professionally drawn picture as reference. The green indicates where you can hit a successful Souzou. It's recommended that you use the Quick Swap Souzou instead of the normal variant. This is so you waste less time in the medkit animation lowering your chances of missing the time frame and messing up the Superman. We will now get into the ping-dependent movement. This is the most difficult for many reasons, those being ping dependence, and the timings need to be near perfection. Learning how to use these techs in fights may also be a challenge. The Super Mario is similar to the Mario. The main difference is no setup is required, and it is doable on every surface. You will need a ping of 100 to 120 for the best outcomes. The Super Mario is still possible on ping as low as 60, up until 180. However, these pings will mess with your consistency. To start the Super Mario, start in a crouched position. You can either copy the angle that I use or get a feel for it yourself. Once you do, you will quick throw the medkit using F or your desired key. Then press W towards the medkit and vault on it by spamming space as fast as possible. If done correctly, you will gain noticeable height. You can also spam sprint and W to gain air control. Proning in the air as soon as you hit a Super Mario will give you a Dolphin Dive. This Dolphin Dive is better than a normal Mario since you are further messing with your hitbox, and the prone allows you to gain a tad bit extra height, allowing you to get on top of places not normally accessible with the Super Mario. By holding A or D while looking in the same direction of your desired key input, you are able to strafe in the air to throw players off, or to get to some very hard to reach spots very quickly. Wall bouncing is by far the most advanced tech, utilizing a Souzou paired with a Super Mario. This allows you to bounce off of any given wall. To do this, you must learn how to do the Super Mario. Then your next step will be learning when to synchronize your Souzou with the Super Mario. The angle that you throw the medkit at matters. It cannot be parallel with the wall. It must be thrown roughly 30 degrees away from the wall in order to get the jump to work. And as far as I know, these jumps will always be influenced by ping. Server hertz also makes these jumps more difficult. The higher the hertz, the less of a chance you will have to hit these jumps. The perfect mix seems to be any 60 Hz server mixed with a ping of 100 to 120 for the best results. And please remember to keep in mind that these movements take time to learn. It's taken me over half a year to develop and learn these movements. Just be sure to be patient with yourself, and any questions you may have for me, feel free to add my Discord in the description below and shoot me a message. The Mini Superman is a hybrid movement consisting of a Super Mario and a Souzou. However, to perform this tech, the timings and luck needed are incredibly slim. It's not really recommended to be used regularly since it's very situational. With that being said, that consists of all the current battlefield movement tech.